Welcome to the Visualize Meditations podcast, hosted by your friend Sasha Patil, a Chopra certified meditation teacher. The first step to creating the life of your dreams is to create a clear and compelling vision for what you want for the future. I'll be guiding you on visualization meditation so you can get clear on your deepest desires. Let's get started so you can turn your vision into a reality.
Let's fucking do it.
Ani fucking va. I'm so excited to spend quality time with you because I feel like we haven't.
Yeah, I think it's been a long time. Like, we usually spend time together either when we're partying or when we're outside with the rest of the people, but we have never sat down.
Just hung out one-on-one.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like the first and the last time, which is really sad.
Yeah, I know, it is, yeah. But I'm so happy that we actually get to do this.
I know, me too. And I can actually learn more about you because it was funny because when I recorded with Francesca, same thing. We never spent time one-on-one and we could overlap for only a week or two. But then instant connection, very easy. But then I sat down and actually learned about her life and I was like, oh shit. You don't know anything. We're just kind of talking about our random lives and random whatever, but yeah. Welcome to the pod.
Oh, thank you so much. Again, it's been a long time coming. I'm very excited that we actually get to do this.
I feel like you're one of the only people in the house who are actually somewhat excited to record. I feel like everyone else is
I think it's the kind of thing where you're a bit scared at first because you're we hear a lot about podcasts and podcasts are a huge thing and everything, so yeah. It's a bit daunting to do it at first. But I feel today I've been listening because I knew we were doing this. I've been listening to a lot of the episodes from the podcast that I hadn't listened to. It helps a lot. It helps a lot listening to it because then you're okay, it really is a conversation. This is not, at first it might feel like an interrogation, and it really is not that. It is a conversation, and it is. We would talk about the exact same thing. Yeah. If we were just hanging out
without
microphone. Yeah, exactly. So.
Yeah, it's very much so that. And the name of the game, the two rules I tell everyone are, number one, tangents are good. So for me, I find that the best episodes are ones where you just kind of talk about random things and it goes into an actual conversation as opposed to question answer.
Exactly, yeah. That's
rule one. And rule two is anything you want me to cut out, I can cut out. And I think that alleviates a lot of stress for a lot of people because they're they think about it a couple days later and they're actually, can you take that piece out about this or that? So it really helps to have that, those two rules. But
does that happen a lot? You find that are people very not with any example, but you feel people say a lot of things here and then they're oh, can you actually take it out? Or can you
I wouldn't say a lot. I'd say maybe half the episodes.
Okay.
Maybe half. It depends on the person.
True.
It depends on the conversation. There are conversations where it might be a word or a phrase that's cut out, or maybe it's a conversation where it's cut out this whole section.
Right. Okay.
So it depends on the conversation, but I'd say maybe about half. But
interesting.
It hasn't been anything too crazy.
Yeah.
But for context, how do we know each other?
Right. So how do we know each other? So we live together. I guess that's the first we should say. I've been living here since the house opened. So I'm one of the OGs.
You're one of the OGs.
Yeah. I've been living here since September of last year.
Okay.
And you arrived. How long did you arrive? I feel like it's been forever. I feel like it's been forever since you've been here.
Everyone's saying that. I moved in at the end of May, so it's only been a month and a half.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I feel I would have said this January or something.
Yeah. Not to be I fit in so well, but I just felt immediately everything clicked. I was ooh, this feels good. Yeah. This feels right.
Yeah, and you've been very visible around the house. You're always down for plans.
Whatever.
And yeah. No, absolutely. I think that's great.
Sometimes to a fault. Because I don't sleep anymore. I'm up so late and then waking up early for work. And because you go to bed at normal hour, the one night you stayed up with us, I was this is strange. This is strange.
Yeah.
But it was also nice.
Well, to be fair, it has taken its time. When I first got to the house, there was 30 people in the house. Every night there was something going on. Every night someone was doing something. And it was so difficult to say no because, of course, you're meeting these people and you're trying to build a relationship with them. So it was so hard to say no. And I haven't gone out as much as I have. And I'm 27. I feel I'm on my way to my 30s and I've started having 2-day hangovers for a few months now.
Okay.
So it's not fun. It's not a fun experience. So I feel I'm calming down a lot in terms of going out and all of that.
Yeah.
And when I first got to the house, pretty much every day we were doing something, drinking something. It was so tiring. So I feel now that I've been here for almost a year. I had to learn, do my thing.
Yeah.
I say no to plans sometimes. I go to bed early. I don't feel bad for leaving a party early or something like that.
Well, that's the other thing is like it's balancing this like this dichotomy between the FOMO you experience if you're not hanging out with the housemates and not around the house, and then also having your own time to do your own life.
Yeah, exactly.
I called my family the other night and I was like, oh my God, I just have existed in this little bubble of our house and have not talked to my family.
Yeah.
And so my family's like, oh, are you just not calling because you're like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm just happy and like hanging out. Like, I don't know.
Exactly.
So you've been living here almost a year now.
So I've been living in the house for almost a year, but I've been living in Paris for more than 4 years now.
Okay.
So I moved in February of 2021. So just towards the end of COVID, but there was still confinement here in Paris. So I didn't get to meet a lot of people that I worked with or a lot of my friends until a few months after. It was a few months of only interacting with people during work and only through kind of video conferences and stuff like that. So, and at that time I lived for 6 months with an uncle of mine who lives in Paris. And then I moved into a studio in the 16th, so like way like west of Paris, like completely the opposite side of Paris. A tiny studio, like I think it was like less than 10 square meters. Like it was tiny. It was a tiny little thing. It was a 6th floor without elevator, so it was like every day you had to go up 6 floors, down.
Booty
6
gains.
floors.
Gotta get the booty gains.
Yeah, exactly. Like my legs have never been more fit than when I was living there. It was like, it was crazy, and I lived there for like 3 years. It's true that I was very close to my friends from Paris. So a lot of my friends live in kind of the more western side of Paris, not necessarily eastern side. So yes, it was a bit of a pain. It wasn't like the best place to live in, but I was close to all my friends. It was very easy to move around. So I just went into this inertia of just living there and all of that. And then now that I've been here for a few years, a lot of my friends have started to either move out of Paris or move to different places around. So I was like, okay, well, this is a good opportunity for me to A, find something a bit more spacious, B, find some sort of natural light, because I had zero natural light. There's nothing.
That'll fuck you up.
It was complete darkness, or it was just like artificial light all the time. So it was, and then I wanted to meet people outside of work. A lot of like all my friends in Paris have been through work, and I love them, and I still hang out with them like every week, like all the time. But I wanted to meet people outside of that circle. They're all Spanish, so where I'm from Spain, so they are all Spanish. I wanted to meet also very international people, so that's how I ended up coming here to cohabs, because I want kind of a more international experience, sharing a flat with people. I wasn't necessarily expecting 30 people, but that's
what we signed up for.
Yeah, that's what we signed up for.
I guess it plays into the next question, which is like, what is your story? Because I'm so intrigued. We have never talked about your Spanish with a British accent. Living in Paris, like, make it make sense.
Yeah, so my story, that's a whole thing. So my story, it's actually I love talking about this because it really frames a lot of how I see myself as a human being.
Okay.
So I'm actually going to start with my parents. So my mum is from Cuba. She was born in La Habana, and she, through various things that happened in life, had to move, or basically they had to exile to Spain. Like they had to move out of South America, and she arrived in Spain, met my dad, and then they were both there for a bit, and they actually moved to Belgium, to Brussels, for work. And that's where I was born. So I have actually, even though my family is Spanish and I speak Spanish with my parents and everything, I've never actually lived in Spain.
Oh.
Because I feel like that's something that a lot of people don't know. Like I have never lived in Spain. I've only been to Spain for Christmas, summer holidays, and Easter, and that's the only times that I've been to Spain and seen my family. Otherwise, it's always been in Brussels. It's always been with my parents, my siblings and I.
Okay.
So I was born there in Brussels. I went to school there in Brussels. I went to an international school. It's called a European school, which is basically you have the opportunity to learn in any language in the European Union.
Oh.
So you've got like your French class, you've got your Dutch class, you've got your German class, you've got the British, and you've got the Spanish. So I was in the Spanish kind of section.
Okay.
So yeah, I did my school years there, and then when I finished school, I went to the UK to the University of Birmingham.
Okay.
To do my undergraduate, and that was because my school was international. They had really good relationships with universities all across Europe.
Okay.
So it was very easy, like the admissions process was made very easy through that school.
Okay.
The British university admission system is not the easiest one to get through. So it was a great opportunity. It was very renowned universities in the UK.
Okay.
I did my interviews and I got into Birmingham. I studied physics there.
Okay, smarty.
Yeah, so I did physics. I initially wanted to do one area of physics, which is particle physics.
Okay.
And then there was a huge discovery, like in the middle of my undergraduate, there was a discovery of gravitational waves. And I kind of like completely changed my entire, I decided that I now wanted to specialize in that. So
Okay.
it was I've always liked being on the forefront of like research, discovery, like things like that. I've always been very much like, what is behind the veil, like what is behind that wall that we're not able to access. So that was a super fun experience, and it's also the first time that I was also fully independent, so it was a really transformative experience. It was a way to meet new people who were not from, because Brussels has a lot of international institutions. It's also an international bubble. Like everyone is like, everyone has their own identity, their cultural identity. It's like a huge mix of cultural identities, and living in the UK with people who were born in the UK and who had experienced it was a cool thing, because they had like one culture, they had their
roots.
friends, they had the roots. And with a lot of people who have worked or who've lived in Brussels in those circles, there's this constant feeling of being uprooted.
Yeah.
When you're born in that kind of environment, you're half from everywhere and half from nowhere. Because I've Spanish parents, have lived in Belgium, currently living in France, studied in the UK, but I'm not Spanish enough for the Spaniards. I'm not Belgian enough for the Belgians. I'm not British enough for the Brits. I'm not French enough for the French. So I'm in this kind of like zone, like no man's land, where I don't really have a cultural identity. I'll say I'm from Spain, sure, because my passport is Spanish, and from a legal perspective, I'm from Spain. But I don't have the cultural identity that comes with living in a place.
One spot,
Going through that experience, I don't have that. So it's something it's super interesting, and you see it a lot I know a lot of my friends from school who were Spanish, who, because of that feeling of being uprooted, you want to become the most Spanish person that there exists. And right after school, they move back to Spain and they try to live in Spain, and then the realization kicks in, that's not your home. Like the people around you, like they don't see you as from there. And it's a very difficult thing for a lot of people to accept, the fact that you're not fully from your country of origin. But it is something that I think I've learned to live with, and I am fully conscious that I'm not fully Spanish, or I'm not as Spanish as I could be if I had lived there, and I'm also not as Belgian as I could have been. So I'm quite happy with
from everywhere and nowhere.
Exactly, from everywhere and nowhere, and wherever life takes me. I'll keep saying, if someone asks me where are you from, I'll keep saying that I'm from Spain.
Well, I was just about to ask you that, because like right now in this stage of my life, getting that question is such a weird, I don't even know what to say. So you're probably one of the only other people I've met who's like, when people ask you where are you from, what do you tell them? You tell them you're Spanish.
I tell them I'm Spanish, and if they have a problem with that, I'm happy to debate them on it. But it's my family's from there. My native language is in Spanish. My passport is from there. So if there was ever any sort of like political issue, I would have to go back to. That's where I'm a citizen. That's where I feel, and also I feel most attached to Spanish culture and like Spanish. I feel like I've lived mostly Spanish culture. I've lived and breathed Spanish culture. It might not be the most authentic one because it was a lot of it came from my parents who they have lived in Spain, so they have been through that experience. A lot of what I've learned about Spain has been from my parents.
Right.
But I feel like that's enough to feel Spanish, so that's where I am and that's where I'll be, and
that's okay.
Yeah,
that's totally fine. But it's like, it's cool, honestly. Like, it's almost not, I don't want to say more interesting because that doesn't sound like correct in what I'm trying to say. For someone who grows up in the same place, where their family comes from the same place, and they stay in that one place forever, and they drop dead there, and they're so immersed in that. There's something to be said about it. Like, there's something so beautiful about that, but at the same time, you are in this little bubble, and you've gotten the chance to experience like a lot of different types of cultures, all European, but like all.
Yeah.
It's been a really well-rounded experience.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I feel, and I also there is a merit to, you know, having your parents be from one place and you growing in that place and you staying in that place, and this is not at all to say, oh well, I live the international life and therefore I am better because I've lived in all of these places.
It's just a different life.
It's just a different life, and I think, you know, it sometimes it's seen, not being worldly enough is seen as a bad thing, but at the same time I would say I've been worldly enough, and it is a struggle sometimes because you're sacrificing maybe time with your family. Like my cousins and the rest of my extended family, they've had the opportunity to see my grandparents like every week for their entire lives, and we were relegated to only seeing them in Easter, summer, all of that. We've also sacrificed a lot of time with family and a lot of time with, and all of that, in order to have this more international life. I feel like that's just the struggle of a lot of immigrant families, that they, in order to search for a better life, you have to sacrifice time with your family. It's just the way it is.
Everything's a trade-off, you know?
Everything's a trade-off.
Everything's a trade-off. And like, that's just life. Any decision you make, really. And the bigger the decision, the bigger the trade-off.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And the bigger the reward, likely the bigger the sacrifice is going to be. Like, that it has to be proportional. Like, the reward that you get for doing something has to be proportional to the sacrifice you make. And, you know, it's...
Bars. Bars.
Yeah. No, I feel... Yeah, because I think, it's the normal thing. If you want to go big, you have to be ready to sacrifice a lot, and you have to be ready, and, you know, and whatever you're willing to sacrifice, that's up to you. That's completely up to you, and there's absolutely no judgment, and there will never be a judgment on my end.
There's no wrong choice.
But exactly.
It's like the bigger the trade-off, the bigger the sacrifice, bigger the reward.
Yeah.
Boom, you heard it here first. So, exactly it. If you had 3 words to describe yourself, what would they be?
So that's funny because I was listening to
previous
episode. I was like, there are some good ones. I just now was listening to Carl's and Max's one.
Yeah.
So...
I didn't get through any questions with them. Like, I may have asked them first of all, it was the middle of the night on Friday before we went out and sat outside that bodega until 5 o'clock in the morning. But I got through 2 questions, and they were like, no, we don't like those questions. And they just keep going on random ass tangents. I was like, this is perfect. Amazing. So you listened to Max and Carl's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've listened to also, it was a while ago, I listened to Francesca's one when it came out.
Yeah.
So what are 3 words that I would describe myself and that would use to describe myself? So the first one, I think, I would say that I'm quite pragmatic and sometimes to a fault. I feel like this is the one that resonated mostly with mine because I was thinking already of the 3 words, and I was like, okay, well, there's a case to be made about any kind of description of myself, but the one that resonates the most for me is I'm very pragmatic. I'm very practical in the decisions that I make. I not want to be highly idealistic, whether I'm not want to be super optimistic, I'm not want to be super pessimistic either. I'm just like, okay, well, it is what it is. This is the situation, and sometimes it might be better, sometimes it might be worse, but you can't really do a lot of times. I feel a lot of people get caught up, myself as well, but get caught up in, okay, what if the situation had evolved differently? What if I had taken a different decision? Again, I also ask myself that all the time, but at the end of the day, Reality is not going to wait for you to make up your mind about something, or it's not going to align with your moral compass. Sometimes you're going to be forced into a situation where you have to make a decision that you might not be happy with, or you might have to admit to yourself something that you're not happy with. And that's fine, and that doesn't make you worse of a person for deciding to do something that is beneficial to you. I feel a lot of times people are like, oh, you have to pursue what you wish, and you have to always be chasing that dream, and that's amazing if you have the means to do it. Unfortunately, we live in a world where resources to do that, resources to live life as you would like, are not always available. And you have to sometimes I have to go to a sucky job that I don't want to do, but I'm not going to go and quit my job and become a hermit because that's not how it works. I feel sometimes it's tough, and I'm toughest with myself. But it's what works for me.
So pragmatic, but why to a fault? And also, number 2, you go to that sucky job every day, but you look damn good doing it.
That's making the most of it. Just make it, I'm like, okay, well, I want to die going to this job.
But you look so dapper. I swear to God, every time Alvaro comes home, I just pray that I catch him in that really quick 10 minutes between you walking in the door and you going upstairs to you just unwork yourself, shower, change, eat. I just pray that I catch him in those 10 minutes, because you always look so dapper and fresh and handsome. And I'm like, yes, give me the outfits. Apparently last week on Tuesday, for the listeners, Alvaro was like, oh my God, this big meeting tomorrow, I'm going to wear a suit. And I was like, oh my God, I need to see this. And if I don't see you, take a picture. And he didn't take a picture. But next time you wear a suit, please send me pics.
I think I might have on my phone a picture.
A picture of the suit?
Yeah,
oh my God.
Me with a suit. But
why pragmatic to a fault? And also the other 2 words.
Because sometimes there's a lot of, let me think. So there's a lot of that pragmatism, that practicality that is just saying life is not always fair, and you just have to do the things, not everything, but a lot of things are just a means to an end, and you just do it because you have to do it. But sometimes, I've met some people, I've come across people who've been like, oh my God, it's not that serious. It's not it sometimes that pragmatism just comes at the expense of going with the vibe. It's I feel like with me, every time I do something, every time I engage with someone, there's an objective. There is a reason I do things. There's a method to my ways. Very, very a very small room for improvisation. I don't feel comfortable in that space. And sometimes it comes at the expense of missing out on a lot of things or on a lot of experiences, because I'm just so focused, what is the optimal development for this situation, or what do I need to do now? Oh, I need to think about this in a very targeted, and if I'm wrong, because I'm often wrong about the way that I think about things, then it's a whole situation that all of my plans are suddenly turned around and I don't know what to do. And it lends itself to anxiety, it lends itself to feeling, it lends itself to imposter syndrome, because when you're not in control of a particular situation, then it's when the feeling of I'm a fraud, I'm not good enough, I should have seen this coming, I should know better, I'm better than this, blah 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 blah. That's when they start to come in, these thoughts. So I think that's why I would say to a fault, because it's sometimes life is not as serious as I intend to make it, and I have the tendency to make it, and sometimes it's just about sitting down with people and just doing,
just not serious,
and just not with any sort of particular plan in mind. Or you just have to do things for the fun of doing it, because you feel like doing it. And I struggle a lot with identifying when I do something, am I doing it because I really want to do it, or am I doing it because I'm trying to reach a certain goal, or I'm trying to further a certain agenda, or I'm trying to I struggle a lot with identifying. I feel like it's It's like, am I doing this because I want to do it, or is my mind telling me that I want to do it, but in reality I do not want to? It gets very messy like that. It gets very...
Have you found like a differentiation between you doing something to go towards a goal and you doing something because you genuinely want to? Because in my mind, I'm like seeing it as like a Venn diagram where you have like the thing you actually want to do and the things that help you reach a goal, and then there's like some overlap, and that's the sweet spot.
Yeah.
But have you found that like balance between the two, or found...
I don't think so. I don't think I have, because there's a lot of times, okay, well, if I do something because I want to do it, the implicit goal might be, I don't know, I have fun, and having fun means that the next day I'm going to have another perspective on life and stuff like that. So it's never, I don't ever think I'm just doing this because I'm just doing this. It's not, there's a lack of presence in the moment. It's always very much forward looking. It's like, okay, well, if I do this now, then I'm going to be super happy tomorrow, and I'm going to be super chill tomorrow. Or, oh, I've done this, I've had this conversation with this person, and now I have this plan for tomorrow. How fun. I'm going to be doing this new thing tomorrow, I've never tried. And it's always like that. I feel like a lot of things that you do because you want to do them fulfill a need, an emotional need, fulfill a psychological need. But for me, the issue is when you think about those things as a means to
an end. Yeah.
That's where I think my fault lies, is that a lot of time, not consciously really, very much subconsciously, I tend to think of everything as just, okay, what end is this fulfilling? Like, what end is...
Like, what is the outcome here?
Yeah, what is the outcome here? Where are we moving to?
I'm just thinking about it now, too, because it's like I had this whole list of things I wanted to do, like, with this year and this summer. It's like, and honestly, so many of them are fun things, just like fun, like, bucket list things. And I'm like, well, now I'm thinking, do I want to do these things because I want to do these things, or do I want to do these things because I'm like taking things off my bucket list?
Yeah.
But I'm also like, I don't know. I had some moments that I'm like, every time something comes up, but I'm like, when I wrote the list, I was like so clear about what I want. So I'm like, maybe it's both. Like maybe it is that like intersection between the two.
Well, I have a lot of times I have these thoughts where I'm like, okay, well, do I want to do this because I want to do this, or do I want to do this because I want to project a certain kind of person? Am I projecting something? Like, am I doing, for example, like the dumbest thing, am I doing sports because I want to do sport, because my body, my health is asking me, okay, you need to move, you need to do this is going to feel great, or because I'm trying to conform to a certain kind of standard, and I have to be fit, and I have to like summer body and all of that?
Yeah.
What am I doing? And at the end of the day, both of those outcomes are going to go hand in hand. If you go and you do exercise, yes, you're going to better your physique, but you're also going to be improving your mental health, improving your there's going to be endorphin release and all of that. So one is not mutually exclusive to the other, but one of them is very much a superficial reason, and it might be perceived as selfish and as materialistic and all of that, whereas the other one might be perceived as something better, something more healthy. So it's like, okay, well, which one is it? Like, why am I doing that? Like, why am I trying to achieve this goal? And that's where I think I struggle with, is like, in your case, if I had to do a bucket list of things that I want to do in the next year, it's like, okay, well, do I actually want to do it, or do I want to do it because I want to be the kind of person that does this?
Maybe both.
Maybe
or maybe
both.
neither.
Yeah, that's where I think it's also to a fault, because it's like, it is not that serious. You're just doing a bucket list of things that you want to do. Like, it's not that serious. And
it's like zoom out a little.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like, what is the end goal? Are you trying to rewrite the entire bucket list with new items? Then do it. But don't sit here sulking about you being this awful person because you want to be projecting this other personality.
Yeah.
It's not that serious. And I think that's where I'm at, where it's like, sometimes I just... like,
why are you overthinking it? Don't overthink
exactly.
it.
Don't overthink it. It doesn't matter. It's not going to matter to anyone around you what you were thinking when you were doing this bucket list.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think that's where I would say to a fault, because it's like, a lot of times I'm very practical, but I take it a bit too far in terms of overthinking. Why am I doing this? What is happening? What is the end goal? Sometimes I've had whenever you're in bed and thinking about things, thinking about situations and making them evolve in your head, I've had situations I've gone 3 years in the future
Oh,
with a situation.
please, the way I've gone like 20. Have you ever done the Clifton Strengths Finder test?
No, what is that?
Okay, my mom's a therapist and she made me take this personality test growing up where like 30 strengths, and she said only get the test that's like top 5. You do have to pay for it, but
Okay.
so worth it. She made me take it, I think, it must have been like my teens, and she made me take it again in my like early 20s. And they were the same, like my like strength. And my top one is futuristic, which means like literally every situation I like zoom forward and I see it to like the end of its cycle, like everything, and positive and negatives. And there's pros and cons. Same thing with like pragmatic to a fault, like futuristic to a fault. Like sometimes my friends call it future tripping, where I'm so far in the future and I like make it all make sense in my head in both positive and negative ways. It's like very scary. And sometimes it'll go like down a deep dark hole, and then sometimes it's just like, no, it's amazing.
But it's so crazy how you can do it. It's how you can do that without it feels when I do that, then I'm like, it's like there was never a decision to be like, I'm just going through decisions in that thinking.
Yeah.
It's nothing. When really, like, whenever I'm faced with a decision, I'm conscious of that I have to make a decision here. I'm conscious. I'm always trying to think what is going to be the outcome with one, what is going to be the outcome in another one. But then I'm able as well to project my life in 3 years in the future as if it was like the easiest thing to do. And that's the only outcome. I literally, that's the only thing it can go is that way.
Yeah.
And then you're like,
But
absolutely not.
Yeah, like that's not how life works. But also, I planned it out, so like, why isn't that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like you don't take into account any sort of external factor. So it's where I'm. Yeah, what I do a lot. I was thinking, no, just about the personality test. I've taken multiple times the one with the 16 personalities. Have you taken that?
Was it like the EM, the?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you?
I think the last time that I took it, I was the mediator, which.
Wait, what test is this?
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same one, but it
Oh, like names a thing.
Yeah, it decodes every single one into a
Yes.
different personality.
Yes.
And there's like different ones. So I'm the mediator, which I forget what it means, but yeah, there's that one, and then there's also a really cool one that I took some years ago. It's in French.
Okay.
And it's called Les Saboteurs.
Les Saboteurs.
And it's not what. It doesn't highlight any kind of strengths you have. It just highlights what is sabotaging you.
Oh.
It highlights the traits of your personality
That are fucking you up.
Exactly.
Yes.
Why are you not able to? And that was such an interesting one because I'm used to seeing. I've taken a few personality tests, some of them better than others, but that one was really fun because it was
different.
It focused on generally any kind of industry is likely going to be a good kind of person, but what is super interesting about each one of them is what is holding them back. And I would definitely, if you haven't done it, I would definitely recommend you do it because it's such a fun way of looking at things. It's not necessarily what I'm good at, it's what I'm not so good at.
I love that. I have to try that for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, but just pragmatic, where are the other 2 words?
Sorry, yeah.
Don't even be sorry about that.
Well,
First of all, tangent.
Tangents.
Tangents are good. Okay.
So, what is another one? I think I haven't been very good at keeping up with this, but I think I'm quite creative. I think I have a creative mind. I do allow myself to, well, I've gone three years into the future for my own life, so I think some form of creativity is required to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like I allow myself to think about a lot of things in a, like, not necessarily in a, I allow myself to think, kind of goes against practicality, but I feel like my creativity is more so like with myself, and it's more so like I don't act on a lot of things. I think about a lot of possible outcomes. I'm very creative.
Is it creative in like thought?
It's very much in thought.
It's not like some sort of modality.
No,
it's like in
no, and that's actually very interesting because I think of myself as someone creative in thought, but I've never projected it into something more
like
material,
no
like
outlet.
painting, sculpture.
Yeah.
I tried some writing, but again, I feel like my thoughts move too fast for my hand to write it up.
Yeah.
So a lot of times what has happened when I start writing, but then I just get very anxious because it's not quick enough. No, it's not quick enough, or words are not specific enough to correctly describe what is in my mind.
Yeah.
So yes, I think definitely creative in terms of thought, and I think I would definitely describe myself as that. And as I said, I do allow myself to think about a lot of things. I've always very much been into fantasy and things like that. I've always enjoyed that more magical, mystical aspect to it. And I feel like, well, I've done a lot of research on for kind of academic interest, for academic curiosity, but I think things like astrology, crystals, all things like that, I think it's very interesting because it's just so non-conformist with the way that, with the way that I walk around life. It's super interesting. So I definitely think myself as someone who's creative in that sense.
Okay.
And then third word, I don't know. I feel like that's where I could sit here and say a lot of things, like a lot of ways that I think about myself, both positive and negative. And I'm actually trying to embrace a lot of the positive ones, because I think it's very easy to say something negative.
So it sounds like the pragmatic side of you.
Yeah. Exactly. But saying something positive is always difficult. But I guess if there's something that I have learned, especially in the last few years through therapy and all of that, is at the end of the day, I'm a nice person. I think of myself as a nice person. I think I'm not out here to, even though I'm, again, quite pragmatic about my ways, it's never at the expense of someone else. It's never trying to be cruel to anyone. And I do force myself to apologize to people where my trying to do a lot of things at once kind of fuck them over. I had to, not too long ago, I was in a period where I was just trying to do so many things with so many people, say yes to every plan and everything.
Yeah.
That it ended up meaning that I had to be a bit sucky with some of the people and continue to push back a lot of the plans.
Yeah.
And that's not fun. That's not, because I could sit here and say, well, no, I was trying to be a good friend. It's not like I was being lazy in my room and not doing anything. I was trying to be a good friend. But no, it is sucky, because my lack of planning doesn't mean that doesn't have to come at the expense of someone else's. And so I had to go to them and say, I'm so sorry. I've been really bad at planning. No excuse at all. I'll try to do better, and I've tried to do better, and I feel it happens sometimes. But that's where I think that's something that makes me a nice person, in that I'm not scared. I'm never going to justify bad behavior on my end because I was trying to do something nice. But it's never going to be like that. I am the first one to admit whenever I'm wrong about something. Yeah. I'm wrong. Most of the time there's absolutely no excuse. I was just wrong because I was wrong, because human, exactly. And I was wrong, and I tried to do things differently. But yeah, so I think it's taken me a long time to admit that, because of course we've all done horrible things in life, and we all feel bad about things that we've done, and I've been very, very tough with myself during my life. But after a lot of work, a lot of therapy, a lot of talking things out, sometimes I'll still think, oh, you're such a horrible person, like, why would you do that? But in my more, like, in moments of clarity, I know it's not. It's not that serious. And if you've done something wrong and you've gone and apologized and everything, then you've already done a lot, and you've already done as much as you can. And then if that person is like, well, you know what, no,
this is more about them than it says about you.
Yeah, exactly. I know they are entitled to do that, and that's fine. And there is no point in trying to fight I'm not going to go and lie to you about this, because then it's just going to make it even more of a thing than it was originally. So I think my third word at the moment would be that I think I'm a nice person. I think I agree. Just give myself some love, and I'm very tough on myself, but I'm also going to be my biggest supporter. So
I definitely am challenged with that. I'm definitely like it's actually interesting. I did this exercise not for myself, but with my other podcast. My best friend and I, we co-host together, and then we had one of our third best friends on. And the exercise we did was we each chose 3 words to describe the other 2 people.
Right.
And my best friend, well, they're both, like, 2 of my literal best friends. One of the words he used was harsh for me. And he's like, not only are you, like, super honest and sometimes very harsh in what you say, but you're ridiculously harsh on yourself, too. He's like, it comes out all the time, you know? Like, it's you're your biggest critic, but, like, at the same time, you also have to be your biggest fan. So it's kind of, like, a balance at the same time, but it's like, I don't know, it's like sometimes you have to catch it in the moment where it's like, oh, shoot, I'm just beating myself up. Like, the other day, I was so freaked out about work. I was so stressed out, and then I was telling, like, the same friend, I was in a voice message, like, telling him about everything that was happening at work, and then I was so, like, freaking out, being so difficult on myself, and I was like, everything I was saying was such a positive thing, though. I was like, oh, and then there's this opportunity for growth, and this thing happened, and this thing happened, and I'm like, why am I beating myself up when everything I'm saying is good?
Yeah.
Make it make sense. It just doesn't make sense at all.
But it's so weird. Sometimes you just want, like, I'm a lot of time in a position where I'm like, I just want an excuse to be very dramatic about a situation, and I sometimes I tell one of my best friends here in Paris, we have this policy where every month we each have one ticket to be as dramatic about a situation as possible, and the other one cannot stop it. You're being a bit much.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a
Once
very
a
good
month,
thing.
though.
Once a month, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because
It can get out of hand.
it can get out of hand. Yeah. Once a month is enough. But yeah. I think a lot of times you get yourself in situations where you're like, I'm just being harsh on myself, but there is no need for me to be harsh on myself, and it's actually a really good thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's such a weird thing. Yeah.
So strange.
Yeah, it's
so
very
strange.
Mm.
So, okay, so you've been living at Cohabs in this house for almost about a year, which I guess is like an interesting way to approach this question, specifically around this house, but like in general. The biggest lesson you've learned in the last year. And I'm curious, like within Cohabs, but also curious, like in general.
Okay. So I think the biggest lesson I've learned in the last year, living in this house, well, actually there's 2 big lessons that I've learned in the last year living in this house. The first one is that most of the people don't care enough about what's happening in your life in order to, you don't have to go around. Whenever I got into this house, a big thing for me was I'm going to lose all my privacy, and I'm not going to be able to do anything, and there's always going to be people around. I am sociable, but at the same time, a lot of times I just need some time for myself.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not going to be able to do it like this. Too many people, blah, 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 blah. Which has not been that, because everyone just has their own things that are going on, and most of the people have been incredibly generous with giving everyone time, and there's been people in this house who've literally never socialized with anyone else, but there's also no one kind of shits on those either. It's like you want to do your thing, I'm going to do my thing, as long as you're not interfering, as long as we're not interfering in each other's life. Feel free to lock yourself in your room and only say hi to me whenever you're in the kitchen or whenever you're like coming home, and
there's no judgment when someone says bonne nuit, good night. Like,
exactly.
Like, go to sleep, goodbye, see you. Everyone's a working professional. Everyone has their own lives outside of the bubble of this house.
Exactly.
But at the same time, it's like, there are some people who, like, there was a roommate where it's like, oh, it was just this roommate. And I was like, I don't think I've ever seen that roommate before. Like, ever. Yeah. But then it's like, whenever someone wants to go to sleep, okay, good night, bye, see you tomorrow. Yeah,
we had a roommate, she left quite a while ago, and she was here from the start of that, from when we first moved in, and literally the only we exchanged was because we both woke up quite early to go to work, and it was in the kitchen, and it was like only hello, goodbye, blah blah. And I feel like that kind of became our thing as well. It was so funny because then we would accidentally see each other at some other point of the day, and it was jarring because I was like, you're not supposed to be in my life right now. You're the morning person. Like, you ground me in the morning. Like, you're the person who I start my mornings saying hi to you, and that's how I start my mornings. Yeah. And now that I'm seeing you somewhere else,
it's like, why am I seeing you in the afternoon?
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like it's nice to socialize with people. It's been amazing to meet all of these people, but there is no expectation for you to be anything other than what you want to be in this house and what you feel like you'll want to do in this house.
Yes.
Like, of course, if you're being annoying and if you're being like a prick, and there's been a fair share of those here in this house,
people will fucking hate you, and people will fucking tell you. And then someone's gonna slap you on Saturday night across the face, and that someone's gonna be me.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Oh my god, okay. So for context, we threw a huge party on Saturday, and It was so much fun. We've been talking about throwing this party all summer long, and it like looked like a club. We moved all the furniture from like the kitchens into the backyard. We closed the backyard because we always get like neighbor complaints. We blocked off all the windows. We had a DJ down here. Like this was a proper club.
5 DJs, 5 sets of DJs. I
We
think.
had 5?
I think so. Yeah, we had definitely more than one DJ.
Yeah, no, I think I saw 3 different DJs, but they like the DJ deck was here,
Yeah.
and then this whole place was just a straight up club, and then upstairs.
So warm.
I was
So warm in here.
So warm. I was DJing in the kitchen, which like by accident, but also I was so happy about that because I want to be I love to DJ, like I love to be on the queue, I love to be on the aux, and the kitchen's great because everyone's going in there to make their drinks or whatever, and I wasn't on it the whole night, like I had a jam going so people could add songs, but
every time we've thrown a party, this kitchen, kitchen, we've always started saying, okay, no music here because people need to be down here and socialize, and every time it's been the place where everyone just goes and there's always music there because I've taken the aux multiple times in this kitchen, and I usually is my place where I play a lot of Latin music because a lot of people in the house they're very much into techno and they're very much into like charts. There's not a lot of reggaeton music sounding in the house, so usually whenever I get my hands on the aux up there, it's like the reggaeton place.
It's like you, me, and Tejas just love the reggaeton. We just want to shake our asses. And that's exactly what happened on Saturday night.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we just got into that kitchen.
And people love it. And people love it. People love when you get a good reggaeton song. They know it and they want to dance to it. And I don't understand what we don't.
I don't understand either. But anyway, so we have a roommate who's an asshole. I'm not going to say names. Everyone knows that this guy's an asshole. I've told him to his face he's an asshole, and he's made like racist jokes, whatever. Like I've told him to his face. This is not the first time that like we've talked about it with him. And we were outside joking, haha, laughing, and we were just like, he was just kept making these asshole jokes. And I told him like, do you like being an asshole? And he's like, yeah, I do. I was like, okay, great. And I was like, can I slap you? I just want to hit you. I'm like, you're just such an ass. And he's like, oh no. I was like, okay, fine. And I was like, can I hit you? And he's like, yeah. And I slapped him across the face. And then he slapped me back.
Really?
Did you not see this?
I did not see that.
Oh my god, it was my favorite part of the night.
Oh my god.
I think slapping.
I remember your slap, and that slap was, that slap had sound to it. It had good gravitas to it.
I asked for consent, to be fair. He did not ask my consent.
Yes. He said yes.
Said yes.
Everyone
heard it. I heard the slap too. But now there he is. Do you think he's gonna go? I don't think he's coming in here. Anyway, that'd be hilarious. I feel like we were just talking about you. Yeah, he just went to the bathroom.
Oh, really? Wow, okay.
Anyway, so, where was I going with this? Oh, anyway, so things you've learned about, slap someone at the party, it was fun. So, things that you've learned, biggest lesson you've learned in the last year. Yeah. So you can do whatever you want is like the first thing.
Yeah, I feel like living in this house, I've learned you don't necessarily have to come into a community and have to adjust your lifestyle or adjust the way that you move through life in a radical way. It's like, there's living by myself and living with housemate, difference hasn't been that huge.
Yeah.
I've still done my life. I've still hung around with friends that I had before moving into cohab. It's been nice to be able to do what I feel like I want to do, and if I want to be alone in my room, I can do that, and if I want to socialize, there's always someone to socialize either outside or in the kitchen, or there's always someone.
It does not matter what hour of the day, someone will be outside in the sacred smoke circle smoking a cigarette.
Exactly.
Or someone will be in the kitchen eating something after smoking a cigarette.
Absolutely.
Like, it could be 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
I fully ran into the same asshole roommate at 3 o'clock in the morning last night. And he's like, oh, this is when you're up.
Leave me alone.
I'm like, okay. Fine.
But yeah, I think another thing that I've learned is like, a lot of people can be very messy, like in terms of cleanliness. Like it doesn't matter the age.
Yeah, I'm like, it's the one thing I try not to think about.
It feels very, but it's like I cleaned the whole big kitchen. Do you know about this?
Yes, you cleaned the whole. Oh my god, the big kitchen.
The whole big kitchen because it was ridiculous.
Okay,
I
wait.
woke up
give
and
context. Give context. What happened?
I don't know. I didn't even know why it was so bad.
Honestly,
when was it?
I think it was just a build of like. First of all, there's a big kitchen and a small kitchen. The small kitchen is the coveted spot because it's not gross.
That was not like that when we first
People
moved
said
in.
that. People say that it was gross in the beginning.
It was gross. It was disgusting.
Anyway, yeah.
Because it was so small, everything just concentrated on a single spot. It was disgusting. But yeah, fair enough.
Okay, so big kitchen. It's so gross. I refuse to cook in there. Other people cook for me. I like don't deal with it. It's not for me.
I'm a big kitchen advocate. You have to confront your problems. You
No,
can't just move to a small
I
kitchen.
hang out in the kitchen. I am in there hanging out. I'm in there dancing. I'm on the aux. I'll make a drink. Like, I'm there having a munchie, but I am not cooking. I mean, I will. I have. I just hate it. And like, why cook? First of all, why do I need to force myself to cook when there's so many people in this house that love it and are quite literally
That's true.
so good and actual professionals?
And will cook for you
Happily.
without hesitation.
Happily.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. They will text you and be like, we're cooking. Yeah. Like, I'm cooking for you. This is are you good to eat this? Yes. So, like, why do I need to? And I'm like, no, I'll buy the groceries, I'll buy the food, like, you cook it, whatever. Everyone knows, or the people who like cook with whatever, I'm like, oh, this is my shelf, take whatever you want. This is my pantry, take whatever you want. I also have all my substances in the pantry. Like, everyone who uses like the same stuff, like, just knows to go to my pantry and take whatever the hell they want. Like, I don't care. Yeah, like, why? I hang out in there. I just don't like to cook in there. I also don't like to cook in general.
Yeah. Fair enough. I don't like to cook in general. It's very much because I need to survive.
Yes.
Because I need to yeah.
Oh my God, it's very much so that. It's very much so that.
Yeah. I wish I liked cooking more than I do.
Yeah.
And every so often I make a choice of, okay, I'm going to love how to cook, but this never happens.
See, I can cook. I just don't enjoy it. Baking's a different story. Love to bake a cake or a baked good or something. Like, that's different. I love that shit. Like, I can cook. I just don't enjoy it at all. I will cook to survive, and that is it.
Yeah, I feel like I've never really had an incentive to cook ever. My dad is the person who cooks in my family. My mum hates cooking as well. Like, she does not like cooking at all.
Yeah.
Like, same. She
I will
loves
happily
baking.
clean. I will happily clean too.
She will happily clean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same here. Like, I will buy the groceries, clean. I will set the table.
Well, that's how I got to the big kitchen. You clean the big kitchen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
So it was disgusting. I think it was a buildup of like multiple days, and then last Saturday, Alvaro just goes in and just goes ham, and just go for it.
Yeah.
Did you just go to the kitchen? You're like, enough is enough. Throw the towels out. I can't do this anymore. Put on some reggaeton, and I'm gonna clean this motherfucking
It was
kitchen.
exactly that. I remember I was super hungover. Why? I do not remember. But I went to play volleyball with Tony.
Okay.
Beach volleyball. Almost died playing beach volleyball because I was hungover and it was 30 degrees and I was in the sun. And I didn't have water, so.
Okay, smart. So pragmatic.
Yeah, exactly. So pragmatic of me. And then I went back to the house and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have a nap. I need to sleep. I need to have a nap. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Did not have a nap. Had a lunch with some of the people in the house, and then I kept having to go into the kitchen. And I remember it was not even like the general, because I can still take the general state of the kitchen in any given day.
Yes. It was
one of the
gross.
sinks was
clogged,
literally clogged,
yes.
and the water had a color that was not for water to have, and
Yeah.
it was disgusting. I was like, okay, no, this is not going to be like, I physically cannot take this. So I was like, I'm not going to do anything this afternoon. I know I'm not going to do anything this afternoon. So I'm just going to clean the kitchen. And I did exactly that. I just put some music, blasted it. It was a great day as well. It was super sunny, lots of light from outside, opened like all of the windows and just started cleaning. And it wasn't like, at first it was like, before I started, it was very much a feeling of, these people cannot clean after what is happening.
Yeah.
But then once you start cleaning, it's more a thing of, I'm really looking forward to seeing the kitchen after I clean it. Like, really looking forward to and breathing in the air. I kept, what kept me going. And I was like, oh my God, every time I finished with a section, I was like, oh, this is so cool. This is so cool. This is so nice. And okay, next section.
Yeah.
So it was very much that. But yes, that's like how it happened. It was done in like, what, 2 hours?
You cleaned the kitchen for 2 hours?
I think so. I think I was done in 2 hours. I was expecting to stay there like the entire day.
Oh yeah, it was gross. But when you say deep clean, did you like do floors too and everything?
I did not do floors. But I did do, like, all of the areas of the sink, like even under those little things that you use for drying. Oh. I cleaned all of that because there was some weird smells coming from that. That area. What else did I do? I thought about cleaning the ovens, but I was like, I'm a bit too much. Like one day, like a deep clean. Like,
We make everyone take
full
everything out of
clean.
their fridge,
Yeah.
and then we wipe all the fridges down
my
and all the
God.
pantries.
It's so good when you clean a fridge. It's so satisfying.
I love cleaning. I love
It's so
cleaning.
I struggle with getting started. Once I get started, I'm like a machine. It has to be one. And I'm the kind of person who, when I'm done cleaning, every small bit of dirt I notice. So
Yeah.
I'm like, it's never quite done, because I'm like, okay, I've cleaned this, but I can see there's a bit of a film of cleaning product. And I don't like it.
There's a
don't like
streak.
it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I really don't like it. So yeah, I really enjoy it. I think it's a really fun thing. And everyone was super supportive as well. People kept coming to the kitchen and they were like, oh my God, why are you doing this? Blah, blah, blah. Being super supportive. And I was like, oh my God, we're all going to enjoy this so much once it's done. Everyone's just going to come into the kitchen.
And be like,
And they're going to say, oh my God, what's there? Everything is so clean. Everything is so nice. And I feel like it's going to be a better atmosphere. We're all going to be the better for it. But I will say, if I have learned anything living in this house, is some people, no matter the age, no matter how accomplished they might be professionally, no matter how many things they might have done in life, some people cannot clean after themselves. It's ridiculous.
yeah, it's just disgusting.
One of the things that really icks me about cleanliness in the kitchen is there's people who, at the ripe old age of more than 25 years old, do not know how to put things in the dishwasher. I do not understand how that happens. Like, how do you think putting a glass, like,
Upwards. All
how
the
do you
water's gonna
think
get stuck in there.
How do you think that's going to work? Or like, there's people who put plates like diagonally, and I'm like, how do you do that? Like, it's designed for it to go straight. How do you put it diagonally between the different? That's something that really icks me. That's something that I cannot stand, because it's the most simplistic.
It's like designed for the
It's
thing.
designed to do this, and
Yeah.
you're doing it wrong. Like, this just has to be at my expense. There's a camera somewhere filming me, and no, there's cannot be, like, you're mocking me doing this. But yeah, so yeah, I think those are the two things that I've learned at this house. Like, one, really positive, you
Yeah.
can do whatever you want.
And
Another
two, or
kind
some
of
people
negative.
are fucking gross.
Some people are so bad.
Oh,
So
so
bad.
gross. Oh my God.
But anyway, and then another thing that I've learned, and I'm trying not to go on a huge tangent on this, but I learned it from my dad. So there's this movie that one of my favorite movies is Hidden Figures. I don't know if you've seen it. It's about the kind of three black women at
Yes.
NASA during.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. So there's this movie, and there's this scene where kind of the director of some department is struggling to find a way to put the people into space and blah 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 blah, and in that dilemma, he goes and says to one of the engineers, is like something along the lines of, what we're doing is not trying to put people in space, it's finding the person who is going to put those people in space. And I feel like that teaches a very important lesson about there's some people in this world who are here to do great things and who are here to achieve a lot of things.
Yeah.
But there are people in this world who are there to enable those people to achieve those big things. And I've always had a lot of imposter syndrome about not being able to achieve great things and not being able to do. But I feel like a lot of times whenever I've had the opportunity in the, the
forefront?
The forefront, I haven't really enjoyed it as much. I much more enjoy, and I feel like something that I've come to, like, I'm at peace with right now. If I'm going to do anything in life, is I'm going to be supporting people who are going to go into the center stage and do great things and all of that.
Yeah.
Because every person who's done anything great in life has had people behind them, supporting them, advising them, helping them when they were doubting themselves and all of that. And I feel like that's something I learned, like my dad, I had a conversation with my dad where he went through all of this with me. And yeah, I feel like that's something really powerful, because then now my objective in life isn't necessarily to be the most famous person, like to go on and be the most important person anywhere. It's just to help try and identify people who I think have the potential to do great things.
Yeah.
And just supporting them in what they do, and just giving them that confidence and just helping them do that. And I feel like I'm so much happier doing that. I'm in the side.
Well, it's like there's the front guy of the band,
Yeah.
who's the singer,
Yeah.
and then there's a whole ass band behind him,
And there's the technical team.
Yeah,
that
and
not
there's the
even,
lighting guy,
and there's a
yeah.
technical team that are not even on stage. They're
There's the
making sure that
manager,
the
and there's
sound.
yeah.
That's where I feel like that's where I am in life. I'm not on stage. I'm not on stage, but whenever the band is going to win a Grammy and thank someone, they're going to be thanking the person who was behind this. They will know that
They're going to thank the best dressed person there. That's our best dressed manager. Let's go. Oh my God, it's so funny.
But yeah, I feel like that's a very powerful, and that's something that I learned in last year, and super powerful, and
yeah,
I'm going to keep with me forever.
That's a really good one.
I feel like that thought, that conversation, and that kind of perspective really shifted the way that I move through life in the part that I've moved through life in the past year.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. I think that that's definitely one of the lessons that I've learned.
What's like the best piece and the worst piece of advice you've ever received?
So I think the best piece of advice would be exactly that. It would be like there's people who do great things, and then there's people who support others in doing great things, and it's equally valid to be either one of them. And then the worst piece of advice that I've got, I don't know. I feel like it's I don't remember the exact piece of advice, but it was something like, do whatever you want to do without thinking about, do whatever you want to do. I think it was well intended, but I've come to realize, again, we do not live in a world, like, doing what you want to do is reserved for those who have the means to do that. And there's a lot of people in this world who do not have the means and who do things just in order to survive. And I think it's dangerous to think that because that you deserve to do whatever you want to do, regardless of how it's going to impact other people and how it's going. I get where the thought comes from. I get where the intention comes from. You shouldn't strive to do something that you're not aligned with, either morally or emotionally, but at the same time, I feel like we live we're living through times economically, historically, politically, where you can't just do reckless things, and you can't be reckless about your decisions, and you have to be very conscious. And I'm very privileged to have lived the life that I've had. I've never had to particularly struggle. I come from a two parents that are very happy, that are still married, so I've never had to go through things like divorce or anything like that, who've had the means to support me and my siblings. I've had the chance to study abroad, and I haven't had to work a part-time job while I was studying. Yeah. And you don't necessarily have to be very poor in order to have to, like, that's the common thing. The common thing is you support yourself while you're studying by working part-time. Never had to do that. So I feel like I come from a very privileged background, but I've always been taught that everything that you have today is not assured for tomorrow. And my parents have always tried to make me and my siblings very cautious of the fact that, unfortunately, we live in a world where you have to be prepared if something, goes wrong, and you have to be prepared if tomorrow there's catastrophic economic event and then you lose all your money. The financial crisis in Spain was hit very hard, and there was a lot of unemployment, and there was families who were completely destroyed from it. And I think it teaches us an important lesson about exactly that. It's the financial stability that you have today, you might not have tomorrow. Yeah. And so I feel, going back to the piece of advice, I do understand wanting to do something that you're really passionate about. Yeah. But you also have to make sure that you're ensuring a livelihood to do that. You also have to do it within the bounds, and you need to be somewhat pragmatic. Exactly. It sucks because someone has to conform with the system. I'm not a particular fan of the system, and I wish there was an easy way to live outside of that kind of
The system.
Yeah, that
you
kind
can
of-
live on Max's farm.
yeah, exactly.
We're
Max's
all gonna go live on Max's farm community. If you haven't listened to last Friday's episode, go back and
We're all
listen.
going to go and live in a community, and I'm gonna be. I can do cleaning. I can.
Oh
do
my
that.
god, I will help you on team clean.
Yes.
But no, we have to. The funny thing is, in that episode we were talking about like, oh yeah, we should all live in community, and I'm like, we're literally doing that, right? Like we're literally living in community
Yeah.
in a community living house. Like I just call it the adult frat house.
It is very much like whenever I talk to people about cohabs, I say it's just like a student residence, just with more adults.
Like it's like working professional. I wouldn't even call it like a dorm because it's not a dorm. Like for me, it's very much so more frat house vibes. Maybe that's just because that's when I'm awake.
I don't know. To be fair, I don't know the frat house system. Like I don't, because I haven't been
Right,
there.
it's a very
But
US thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah. When I look at it from a UK perspective, it's like a residence. It's like
exactly.
yeah.
But it's very much so that. Okay, last question. Normally I would ask the question if you were to go back or forward, because I interview people like older and younger. If you were to go back or forward to like your 27-year-olds, what advice would you give them? But like, because I'm 27, but you're also 27.
Yeah.
Also, when's your birthday?
October 27th.
So you're Scorpio.
I am Scorpio.
I'm a Scorpio rising.
I don't know what my rising and my moon are. I forgot. I've looked at it so many times. I think I might be Libra, either rising or moon, and I think. So what are the water signs? The water signs are Scorpio,
I'm not sure.
Pisces, and Cancer. I think because me and my three siblings were water signs, all three of us. So. Yeah, Scorpio. I think I'm Pisces, either rising or moon, and then Libra, either rising or moon.
Are you the middle sibling?
I'm the eldest.
Are you the oldest sibling? I don't know.
One,
You're the oldest sibling. Do you feel like you fit
I feel
oldest?
I feel like I am the oldest. I feel like I fill the role of eldest very well.
Yeah. How much younger are they?
So my brother's 2 years younger than me, and then my sister's 2 years younger than my brother.
Oh, okay, yeah, very much so.
So I have an amazing relationship with my siblings, and in fact, whenever we've played the card game, I remember there was a question, it was like, whose opinion matters the most to you?
Yes, it was your siblings. Yes.
My siblings are the most important thing in my life at the moment,
Yeah.
like by a mile difference. They're the most important people in my life, but we've always had this relationship where there's always been a distance in terms of I'm very much more of a pragmatic, if you will, person. So we've always treated each other, like I've always treated them, and they've always treated me with some form of respect. I've never been, and I don't think we are friends in the common sense.
Or at least not yet.
Or not yet, maybe not. But I mean, we are all adults, and I feel like kind of crossed that threshold where we could potentially be more on a friendly basis. But it's just that I feel like setting a healthy distance between me and my siblings is good in a sense. Like they appreciate my advice, I appreciate their advice. I'll be there for them like whenever they need me. Like I would take a bullet for my sibling, but I'm also more of the voice of reason for them, and whenever they fuck up, I will tell them like, what are you doing? Yeah. They like to egg each other on quite a lot, and I'm very much not like that. So that's where I feel like there's some sort of distance, and there's always been a sort of distance between us. Not in the bad sense, it's just in the sense of I'm not like your friends who might be pushing you to do things like that might not be a great idea. Like I will be here to tell you, no, this is stupid, your friends are stupid, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you ever fuck up for real, like I will help you hide a body. Yeah. If for the more minor thing, I'm you're
gonna be like, why are you being an idiot?
Yeah, exactly. But then, so what was this question?
Well, I didn't even ask the question.
Yeah.
We got into a tangent before the question even started. The question was, because I normally would ask
you were
the age
asking me
thing.
if I was the elder.
Well, yes, normally I would ask, like, if you were to go forward or back to your 27-year-old self, what advice would you give them? Because I'm 27 and like, that's just what I want to hear, or like what I'm curious about. But we're both 27. So the last question is, if future you were to come back to this moment, what advice would you give yourself?
if future me, so without knowing what the future holds for myself, what advice would I give?
Yeah, and it might not be the 3-year future you've planned for yourself.
Yeah, let's say 40 years in the future.
Sure.
Let's say. Okay. Oh, that's a very interesting question, because I definitely know what I would tell my younger self, but I love this question because I've never asked this to much. I think I would just, it's going to be fine. Whatever struggles I'm having at the moment, or whatever dilemmas I might be going through.
Yeah.
It's so likely that they are much more, like they're much smaller than I make them to be.
Yeah.
Because that's the experience that I've had so far. And I remember I struggled to find a job quite a few years, and it was like, for a few years it was like the worst thing in the world. I was a garbage human being who had studied physics for 4 years and then couldn't even get a job.
Yeah.
And it was the worst thing ever, and then I landed a job, and I was like, I've been working for 4 years now. So it's like, I think that would be it. It would be, I wouldn't ask myself to take life less seriously. I feel like that's something that, again, to a fault, I do appreciate quite a lot about me, that practicality. But they would likely tell me, like, whatever you think is coming your way that's going to be so bad and so awful, it's not going to be so bad and so awful, and you will overcome it as I've overcome challenges in the past.
Right. It's like, whatever you're stressed out about, is this thing going to stress you out in a day, a week, a month, a year, 10 years? And that's how much you should stress about it, is based on how much is actually going to impact your life. If you make the wrong choice, is it going to impact your tomorrow?
No.
Let it go.
No.
But is it going to impact your life in 10 years? Sure. Okay, let's worry about it. You know what I mean? So I think it's like almost correlated to how much you should worry about making a decision or a situation should be correlated to like how much you think it's going to impact your life down the line.
Yeah,
but at the same time, there's also that, have you ever seen those things where it's like, that guy stopped to get a Band-Aid and then he missed, he worked in the Twin Towers and he stopped to get a Band-Aid and then he missed 9/11. It's stuff like that where I'm just like, but what? If, I just need to go to get a Band-Aid.
Yeah, no, exactly. I feel like I get a lot of that kind of stress where I'm like, I guess with that kind of inevitability, I'm okay with. If I cross the street and I get run over by a car and I die on the spot, I'm not so preoccupied for that, because that's outside of my... But if I consciously go and decide to quit my job, then it's like, it's a bigger deal, because it's like, well, and then what if I'm stuck trying to find a job for like years on end, and then I'm like 35 and I don't have a job, and I don't have any money, and
you're future tripping.
So yeah, exactly. So it's like, if the decision is something, like if I have to make the decision because I want to rather than out of necessity, then that's where I get very stressed. That's where I get...
I can see that.
Yeah.
I could see that.
But yeah.
Maybe take life a little less seriously then.
Yeah, but again, I think it all comes back to that. It's like, if I take a decision and it's not the right decision, I will overcome it. Yeah. And if I go to the street and I get run over by a car, I'll be dead and I won't care. So
every decision you make is the right one.
Exactly.
Because it leads you to whatever path you're supposed to be on.
And every decision is the right one, because you'll never know what would have happened if you'd done the other one. So right and wrong require you to be able to peer into the two possibilities. Yeah. And that's not possible. So if we had a time machine and we can go and see what would have happened if I'd done the other thing, then sure, we could say, okay, well, this was more beneficial than this other one. Yeah. But we can't. So we have to assume that the decision that you make is the right one, because you'll never know what would have happened if you'd done the other thing. That's damn right. Anyway, so thanks for coming my pot. No worries. I love this.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Visualize Meditations podcast. Please follow, subscribe, leave a review, all of the good things. If you want to connect more, you can find me on TikTok and Instagram at Living Your Vision. So what are you waiting for? Get out there, create the life of your dreams, and we will see you next week.